Hello, everyone. I'm Chester44, also known as Fly, and welcome to this Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity. Last episode, we did some more exploring in Elm's Reach. Twin Elms. Sorry, we did some actually, no, I'm not wrong. We went back to Twin Elms and made our way into Elm's Reach here. Did a quick glance around here. Went into the Hall of Warriors, where it seems someone wants us to basically kidnap a baby and sacrifice it. Well, someone also gave us the option of, instead of sacrificing the baby, how about we just poison the guy who wants to sacrifice the baby and have him replaced? I mean, given the choice, I'd rather not be a baby killer. Anyway, we get the poison from down here. From Bleda. Isolde earned my trust. Why do you continue to support Arona? The High Ovate has tended to the grove for centuries, and now abandons it to journey away from Twin Elms, much too often.
Builder's wisdom to you.
The elf holds a chipped wooden pipe. The sweet smoke wafting from the bowl makes you dizzy. Welcome, Estremor. I've got herbs and potions for sale. Looking for something to ease your travels? Or something to make them more interesting? When she grins, you see her teeth and gums are stained brown. Haravius sniffs at the air, his smile growing wider with each twitch of his nose. Whiteleaf! I once ate a porcupine whole while smashed on Whiteleaf. I miss those days. Like to see your stocks. General potions and ingredients. Nothing we need. Tiny sporling. Despite its off-putting toothy maw and dead eyes, this little sporling is oddly affectionate for a fungal mass. It waddles after you with unexpected speed. I'm buying every pet I can. Now then, I hear that you can make certain poisons. She takes a deep draw on her pipe. Poisons? I only deal in tonics that heal and enlighten. She exhales a puff of smoke. Of course, many beneficial substances can be harmful when taken in great quantities, but that's just Weretha's way of keeping all things in balance. Oh really? What kind of substances? She leans against the winding tree trunk and ticks the items off her fingers. Oh, there's plenty. Concentrated Carogolin, undistilled spider venom, rotten blood moss extract, even cave coral mixed with skein bone. All of the undistilled spider venom, please. She stops counting and scratches her head. What would you want with something like that? Well, my friend Stelgar is dying, and he wants to ease the creature's passing. She frowns, her teeth clamped around the pipe. Poor thing. Here, take this. She gives you a vial filled with a dark fluid. It works slowly, but this will send him back to the cycle kindly enough. Just see that it doesn't get misplaced. Half that dose would kill an Amawa. Alright. Well, we've got the poison. Yay. Let's see what else is down here. Golden leaves flash and shine as they fall from the trees.
Hail, Estremor.
Though his eyes are closed and his posture still, the man before you keeps his head aimed at you, as if carefully following your movements. Hail to you. May your time in the Golden Grove be enriching. And hail to you, Autumn Orlan, the man says with a bow to Haravius. Haravius' eye widens in surprise, and his one good ear stands on end. How on Eora did you... The man's eyes remain closed, and he says with a smile, Tranquility begets a receptive mind. He opens his eyes, revealing brown irises clouded with the beginnings of cataracts. With my eyes open, I see your birth form, but when I look inward, and with this, he closes his eyes again, I see the Autumn Stelgar. Let Haravius talk. I don't know how you can sense it, but you're right about me being the Stelgar. What do you know about the beast? Why was I ostracized just for being able to assume its form? Is there a cure? Tamarin smiles, his eyes remain closed. I know the beast is often sent by Gallowayne as a sort of trial, Many on Amphatha are tested by the Autumn Stelgar. Those bested and consumed by the beast have their soul torn from their bodies and lost for all time. So my tribesmen were right. Haravius looks crestfallen. His posture slumps. His gaze drops to the ground. Are you saying I have such a terrible power? This must be some sort of... If your spirit form were a bee, would you be mystically compelled to make honey? Were it a bird, would you spend all day making nests? Tamarin opens his eyes once more and looks Haravius up and down before wincing and shutting his eyes once more. I am saying this is what the animal your form resembles is known to do. It seems you are eager to leap to your own conclusions. I would not normally advise one to speak with the circle at Bloodsands, but given your circumstances, the Ethic Knoll may prove of insightful. He turns and, with his eyes still closed, points to the northwest. Read the stone slabs carved by the druids of the Blood Sands. There are answers to be found, as well as more questions, but you must explore them for yourself. What exactly is written on these stones? Much of it is utter rubbish on the incessant need for sacrifice. His calm countenance wavers as he says that last word with spit and a hiss. But amongst the dogma are a few bits of wisdom on Galawain. Your friend will understand. Is there any more you can tell us? Only to trust in Galawain, and trust in Whale. Both have blessed you in their own difficult ways. I appreciate the attempt to lift my spirits, but that doesn't really help. Haravius sighs and digs into his ear stump with his index finger. But he has a point. I trust Whale has something to show me in the Blood Sands. Let's get going. Alright, the Blood Sands. The bark feels warm. The roots around seem to twine around your hand. A lot of ovates around here. And that's just an exit that doesn't matter. Not to us, anyway. Golden leaves flash and shine as they fall from the trees. And we've got another ovate here. All are welcome in the Golden Grove. An elf with placid green eyes nods in greeting. Welcome to the Golden Grove, traveler.
Many blessings, traveler.
Do you seek the wisdom of our herbalists, or simply to bask in Wereth's glory? Who leads your order? High Ovate Arona leads us. She sometimes journeys to Elmshore to renew her strength, however. She's there now with some of her closest followers, in fact. Arona is a mighty elm among us. She's lived for generations. There are none who understand the world as well as she, and we are fortunate to have her wisdom to answer our questions. I'd like to know more about Arona. Her eyes brighten. Why, you must meet her for yourself. She is wise and kind, and she has led our order from the beginning. Yet she walks among us and gives freely of herself. She turns her gaze to the great twisting elms. That is what so many of us cherish about her. She is present among us in a way that the gods never are. Tell me about the Golden Grove. We are the Ovates, druids, philosophers, and students of nature. We gather here to share our knowledge and celebration. She gestures to another elven woman standing near the entrance to the grove. Many travelers come to us for poultices and remedies. Bleda understands the cures and poisons of nature like no other. And what do you believe? We believe that knowledge is found in the earnest exploration of the natural world. We do not, as some have said, oppose the gods. We simply believe that we have found a brighter, more peaceful path than devotion. If you say so. Alright. Well, we have the poison. May as well go deal with this guy who wanted us to kill a baby. Okay. Just gotta convince him to take it. Let me drop a save first. Alright then, Seamok. Here's the potion you asked for. He looks from the vial in your hand back to you. Something's wrong. What are you trying to give me? This is the essence potion you asked for. Send for Werda if you doubt it. He reaches out with a hand gnarled by age and battle. He clutches the vial close to one faded blue eye. To my tribe's salvation! He drains the vial in one long gulp. He swallows, and after sputtering for several seconds, he glares at you. His breaths sound ragged and wet. You... you poisoned me! He begins to raise his hand to the warriors in the other room. You just swallowed a mixture of concentrated essence and blood. How did you expect that to feel? I suppose you're right. He takes a couple of slow, deep breaths. And I suppose I should thank you for your service. Safe travels, Estermore. Well, that worked. Liras looks you in the eye and gives you a slow nod. Well, that's completed. Major adventure added. Sure. The Devil of Karak can deal with it. Well, that's dealt with. Alright, let's see if we can actually get into Blood Sands this way before going over the bridge, because I have a feeling that will continue the main quest. The clear waters taste sweet and refreshing. Nope, the answer is no. We have to go over the bridge. Alright then. Let us travel over the bridge. Oh!
You have stayed true to our cause, Inquisitor, when so many others have not. For every heretic we confess, for every betrayer that burns on our pyres, new sheep continue to flock to Iavara Ix Incios. But not you. I underestimated you in the beginning, but no longer.
You honor me, Grand Inquisitor.
It is not for honor that I summoned you today, but for duty. Too many of our own have confessed upon the wheel and the rack and the flame. Too many of our faithful have had their minds poisoned by the Kratom witch. The tide is against us now. We have but one option. Iavara's following must see her exposed for what she is. She must confess her heresy before my court.
How would we reach her?
Not in Kratom, surely. Their lord has embraced her heathen faith and protects her with his army. But in Osionis, things would be different. The king of Osionis is a sinful man. We have helped him to see the error of his ways, and now he fears for his soul. He would pay any price for absolution.
But how would we get Iavara to move to Osionis?
You have already done much for the Inquisition. I wouldn't ask this were there any other choice.
Interesting. Oh. Two identical women seem to fade into view as they move away from the great trees that camouflage them. Their skin is tree bark, ridged and scaly, wreathed in a curling tangle of roots, buds, and blooms. Their hair hangs beneath the shade of serrated leaves like the drooping branches of the elms above, and the pupils of their eyes are encircled by hundreds or even thousands of concentric rings, as if to mark the accumulated wisdom of millennia.
Turn around, flesh creature. Outsiders are not permitted to approach the elms.
One of them extends a snarl of roots toward you that snakes and twists together to form something like an open hand, palm down. The other stares at you unblinking, and as her frown deepens, her face creeps. Do you not feel it, sister? Something familiar. An ancient soul like the other one. Another defiler, no doubt. Let us fell her and be troubled no more. It would pay the debt of her predecessor.
So it would seem, Rhiannon. But we must not hasten to judgment. I see a different motive here. Different questions in these eyes.
What of it, young trespasser? Is it as my sister says? Or are you here to stain this place with foul deeds?
I seek a man who came through here. It sounds as though you have already met him. There, by your own admission, Sita.
Really, sister? And you wonder why your leaves begin to fall out before midsummer. Clearly that man did not want to be followed. Whatever the relationship here, I suspect it is anything but cordial. The answer is yes, old one. We crossed paths with Theos not long ago, and we can tell you where he went. But I find it curious that anyone would seek him out. Suspicious, even. If we are to help you find him, we would know why.
Simple. Stopping him might end Widewind's legacy.
So that is the reason he passed this way. This is low, even for the Leaden Key.
I told you we should have confronted him, Sheila. He has always been a poison.
It would have been the last thing we ever did, sister. Who can be said to have ever gotten the better of Theos?
Yes, but imagine how much fun it would have been. Can't you just picture him all strung up in vines like an angry little puppet?
But that's not what this is really about, is it? You are bound to that man.
Sita glances over at you, and then her expression changes, as though seeing you for the first time.
I see it now. You are awakened. Your soul is awake, and something once buried deep now wells to the surface. Past overwhelms present, closes in around you. Your time has nearly reached its end.
We'll see about that. For now, I just need to get to Theos.
I am sorry to tell you this, but Theos cannot give you what you seek. Nor can any man. An awakening cannot be undone, any more than your past can be undone.
So this has all been for nothing, and I'm going to lose my mind.
The soul is formless without a past to shape it. Did you truly expect to be able to wipe it away?
I would live with it if I could.
That is the penance we all pay. But penance cannot be paid for a past only known in fragments and glimpses. However, as much as my sister speaks truly that there is no way back from an awakening, there may yet be a way forward. Would you agree, Sheila?
I would. Were the way not so likely to end in death.
Considering what I've faced, you underestimate me.
Or perhaps you underestimate your foe, old one. Where your soul is renewed in its ignorance in each span of your life, his only grows in cunning and resolve.
The man Theos you must already know by now. You are linked by a common past. Something about it lingers within you, festering, unresolved. What it is I cannot see any more than you. And without that knowledge, your doom is certain. But were you to learn the source of this discord, perhaps it could be put to rest. Though it is equally possible it will trouble you as much now as it did then, and merely speed your condition to its end.
My past comes to me in pieces. How do I unlock the rest?
You might wait for it to come on its own, of course. But when it comes, it will replace your sanity's last breath. Such is the nature of your condition.
Or you could learn it from someone who already knows.
So Theos, would he remember?
It is said the gods made his memory perfect, that he may never forget his charge. If he ever knew, he still does.
Not that he would tell you, of course.
You have followed the right person for the wrong reason, it seems. We see it often beneath the elms. The soul dragging mind and body to unknown places for unfathomable reasons. You may have wandered into Theos's path many times, in many lifetimes, without an awakening to show you why.
The only thing that's certain is you did not find what you sought.
You said you know where he went.
He has gone down beneath the tower to a place older than we, where the people of Engwith once walked. He makes his way to the buried city, Sun and Shadow.
May he stay down there and rot with the remains of his people.
He may yet. He won't be returning the way he came, that much is certain. He opened a secret path in the tower's base, and saw it destroyed behind him through some vile means.
Well, is there another way to get to him?
We know of one. On the burial isle, through the court of the penitents, Braeth Yamen. A shortcut, in fact.
Don't be cruel, sister. The way my sister speaks of is not for the faint of heart. A great pit at the center of a forgotten court, where faiths were judged in place of crimes. To most, it is simply a gateway to death. With the help of the gods, it can take you where you want to go.
What do you mean with the help of the gods?
The pit is said to have been a means of judgment by the gods. Those cast into it are meant to die. It is that way you must pass to reach Sun and Shadow. The court is old. We do not know much for certain, but it would seem only the gods themselves can grant passage.
Well, I have spoken with 2 of them before already, and would probably be in good graces with a 3rd, so, I mean... Well, okay, Andra's probably going to be a little ticked off. Even if Sure, I did something to her to try and help, but she's probably a little ticked off at me. She probably won't help. Whale... I did a small favor for him. I don't know if this is something that Whale would do for me. Is there any way I can talk to Abydon? I mean, I granted him back his memories. That's probably worthy of doing this for me. What is this court?
No more than a ruin now. It is older than we. A place for the trial of heretics. We were not here to witness it. But at one time there was a group that refused to acknowledge the gods. Neither the first nor the last, of course, but these were numerous and all put on trial for it. Those who did not repent were cast into the pit and imprisoned below. The fall killed them, of course. The prison was not for people but for their souls, and their sentences were eternal. It is said that many of the condemned repented and were permitted by the gods to ascend from the pit, so long as they pledged their service to one of them. But these are old legends.
And how would I ever get the gods to help me?
Behind us is Ter Evron, said to pierce the shroud itself and a place of communion with all gods. If ever there was a time for prayer, you have found it.
So the only way to get through this pit is to pray for help?
Not the only way. Just the only one that doesn't end with your body impaled on jagged rocks.
Oh, she has some snark. Who would I pray to? Any god you can, I should think.
I would pray first to those gods you like best. I hope for your sake the feeling is shared.
Is there no other way?
None.
And how do I pray?
Ter Evron is also called the Hall of Stars, and the stars show us the allegiances of the gods. When stars are in conjunction, we know the gods they represent are aligned as well. You should choose a place to pray where you'll be closest to those you want to hear you. If a god stands alone, you should pray to that god. If they band together, you should address them all. Choose your words wisely, for all gods expect proper homage, and none has patience for fools.
So that is our next goal. I have other questions.
What do you wish to know?
How did you know that I was pursuing Theos?
The same way that you are no doubt able to peer into the ether and experience the souls of others. It is something we are born with, some more, some less. A gift common to many creatures of the wilds. You share certain similarities with the man you pursue. For your sake, I pray they are few and of no consequence.
Something tells me that is not going to be the case. You mentioned that people come to these elms without knowing why. A soul has a will of its own. Its needs and whims are seldom understood, but they follow them all the same.
There is something about this place that reaches beyond our understanding, something like a beacon. The elms have a way of uniting souls that have been seeking one another, with or without their owner's awareness. Sometimes it is for love, sometimes for vengeance, sometimes for peace. Often it is for no reason we will ever know. In your case, let us hope it is for peace.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why they wouldn't want it to be for vengeance, since it would likely end in my death, at least they say so. And love? Ugh.
Or vengeance.
Okay, yeah. I want to know about the two of you.
There is little to be said about us, for we are bound here, caretakers and defenders of this place. Our journey has been over time, but not distance, measured in observations, but not experiences. We have seen the elms grow tall. We have seen cities built, burned, and built again. The only constant has been the tower, a silent companion through the ages. You can imagine why this recent destruction has stirred my sister so.
If you do nothing else, make that man pay for what he did here.
I need to know about praying for the support of the gods.
We will tell
okay,
you
we've
what
already
we
asked
can.
that. Okay.
What do you wish to know?
Farewell.
Before you go,
Oh.
tell me this, old one. I'm curious. If you were to subdue your enemy, what would you do with him? What would give you peace?
I would undo the harm he's caused.
You would need to have twice as many lifetimes as he to repair his savage work.
But perhaps there are strides you can make.
All the same, think on this matter. Be assured in your course. In the end, it may mean all the difference, not just to his soul, but to yours. And be warned. Some questions have answers that can never be learned. And it is those that trouble the soul above all others. May you find an answer to yours.
Thank you. So we have our next task. Pray to the gods. It's not often you have it where the next goal is to pray to the gods. The clear waters taste sweet and refreshing. So we will speak with them soon. However, considering that continues the main quest, I think we'll hold off on that and instead explore elsewhere and see what's going on in other places first. We're going to start by going into Blood Sands and see if we can finish up Haravius' whole quest and get that handled. Then we, after that, we're not going to go into Ter Evron yet. After Blood Sands, we'll head into Old Song and look through there, see what's going on, and then we'll head into Northweald. I don't know if there's any areas after that. Northweald has a few quests we can do, but once we go through Old Song and Northweald, we'll head back. All quests for companions will have been completed. We'll be able to swap out companions for the team that I want to be taking, and we'll be ready to go. But that'll be in the next episode. So, until then, I am Chester44, also known as Phalai. That is Laniara, Palagina, Haravius, Durance, Aloth, and Sagani. This has been a Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity, and I shall see you all next time.